What's up, guys? My name's Rosie.
I'm Roanne.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here today to talk to you about the book The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. We are going to compare it to the movie called Spirited Away. That is a very famous anime movie. And here we have a special guest with us. It is one of the characters from the movie, No Face. Everybody give an applause. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rosie, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the similarities between these two works of art. Something similar is how they both have very similar protagonists. Both the protagonists seem to act both the same way. They're secluded, they're kind of selfish, they're quiet, they don't really have that many friends, at least, especially for the young narrator. He keeps to himself, he loves books, and the only friend he really even had was like the little kitten. And then the Chihiro, she just moved, so she doesn't really have any friends. I mean, she's still trying to move into her house, so she doesn't really know anybody, and she's really upset, she's mad, she's acting selfish because she just wants to go home. And here I've brought some props to represent the characters as protagonists. This is, of course, the young narrator, and this is, this can be Chihiro, and, so these are our little guests. Okay. Another similarity that is seen between both the book and the movie is that they both face similar villains. The villain in The Ocean at the End of the Lane is named Ursula Moncton, and she is this very abnormal, strange creature. She is seen as to be a witch, specifically an evil witch, and she has all these different types of powers. She can morph into different forms, and this is Ursula. And this here is Yubaba the Witch. She is the villain from the anime Spirited Away. They are both similar because they both have means of way of controlling people, which is Ursula's way is by beauty, because she appears to the narrator's father as extremely beautiful. She reveals her beauty to him. The way she is able to control people is by coming off as beautiful. And Ursula also can change her name. She changes her name from what her real name is. And the only way that you can really call her out is by saying her real name. Baba the Witch has a way of controlling people because she has a lot of money and a lot of power. And she takes people's real names and she holds on to them. So she holds on to their real identities. And she gives them her own version of their name, or just their own name, like a different name from what they had. And she keeps them. And then eventually they'll forget who they are. They forget their name. And so she keeps on to control them forever, and if they ever do remember their real name. And that's how they control people. That's their means of controlling others. Something that is contrasting between these two works of art is that one has a very vague storytelling, which is the book, and the other one has a very straightforward storytelling. In the book, you don't really know what's exactly happening. Even in the prologue, you don't know what he's doing, what's happening. You don't even know, really what he looks like. You don't even know his name. You never get to know the narrator's name. You just refer to him as the narrator. And you have to kind of figure out for yourself and piece it together what's happening. And what is happening is that he's at a funeral for a family member. And as the book goes on, you just have to keep piecing things together, trying to figure out what's happening, and you just have to keep you keep creating assumptions, and you hypothesize and theorize, and you never really know for sure what's really happening. And you kind of have to even imagine what the characters look like, what their powers do, and you only get to know so many people's names. You rarely get to know about all the characters. You don't even know really much about his mom, and you just know his dad's just turned, he gets really almost in a trance from the villain Ursula. And then in the movie, it's very straightforward. You know what's exactly happening. You know what they look like, you know what they sound like, you know their names. Even when the villain Yubaba, she changes Chihiro's name.
Zimbabwe. Okay, in the movie.
In the movie, the villain Yubaba, she even changes their names, but you still remember their real names because they've said it multiple times. You know what the parents look like, even when they change forms. You know what happens to her at the end. You know everything. You know what happens. Everything to everybody. You know, just everything. And with the book, you kind of have to guess. You think, well, this could have happened, or this could be happening, or but there's no factual things. The only thing that's really factual is maybe a few of the characters' names, and not even all of it.
Thank you, Rosie. Another comparison we see in between the novel and the movie is that the mentors, Haku and Letty, they reveal themselves to the protagonist, and they're not in their true form. They both have their own true form. For Letty, her true form is linen sheets and candles, and as for Haku, his true form is a dragon. Also, what they also don't reveal to the protagonist is their age. Letty is a lot older, Letty is a lot older than what she reveals to the narrator. And same goes for Haku. Haku is a lot older than what he reveals to the protagonist. As for Letty, she reveals to the narrator that she's a lot older than who she really is. Same goes for Haku. He is seen as a little kid, but really, he is immortal. Aside from the mentors not revealing their true form to the protagonist, they do grow a strong bond with each other. The mentors are always there guiding the protagonist to do the right thing and follow them, no matter what the situation. It seems the mentors want the best for the protagonist, and that's what they continue to do throughout the story. They guide them to do the right thing, and they tell them exactly what is the best opportunity to take. You can see how strong the relationship between the mentor and the protagonist are. A perfect example, in The Ocean of the Lane, you see Letty protecting the narrator from Ursula, and in the process of Letty protecting the protagonist, we see how she protects the narrator from the Hungerbirds and gives up her own form, and she gets really injured by it too.
Thank you, Jacob. Here are some important points you need to know about Ocean at the End of the Lane. The big part of Ocean at the End of the Lane is the supernatural elements. There's a lot of magic and things that doesn't make sense that goes on in the story. For example, the Hempstocks. No one seems to know who they are. They're a little weird and they're quirky because they have magical powers where they can cut through time. They can communicate with the magical creatures of the area, and they're able to work around with the ocean at the end of the lane that lives in the pond. What's really important is that there's not only just the Hempstocks, there's also different cultures where magic is a big part of life. For example, in Spirited Away, their culture is heavily influenced by Shintoism, which is their religion where it's very polytheistic and where they worship different spirits. In the movie, they have to give homage and respect, otherwise they will get cursed. Similar to the protagonist, he was our protagonist in Ocean at the End of the Lane. He wasn't very respectful to Ursula Monkton when she was a 10, so that's why he ended up getting her host and ruining a lot of things. The cool thing about the supernatural elements in Spirited Away and Ocean at the End of the Lane is that they both have women there who have magical powers to them. In Ocean at the End of the Lane, we have the Hempstocks, which consist of Old Mrs. Hempstock, Ginny Hempstock, and Letty. Each of the Hempstocks have different abilities. Miss Hempstock, Old Mrs. Hempstock, it can cut and snip through time. Mrs. Ginny Hempstock is capable of knowing around the area, even without being there, like a sense of clairvoyance. And Letty is able to shapeshift and call the Hungerbirds to her through a signal. Similar to the Hempstock family, we have the witch twins in Spiritual Way, Zeneva and Yubaba. Even though they're twins, they have similar powers. Zeneva's the good witch and Yubaba's the bad witch. where they manipulate people with the usage of their names, and they're able to use telekinesis with their powers, and the similarities between both of the supernatural elements is that within the Hemstocks they can be connected to Greek mythology, where old Mrs. Hemstock is similar to Clotho, who can cut the thread of fate and manipulate it to their advantage. The old amusement park where Chihiro's family walks in, it's connected to mythology because once they end up in the spirit world, they could end up becoming spirits forever, or they just die if they don't eat anything. Old Mrs. Hemstock is similar to Atropos, who cuts the thread and and knows the moment of someone's death. Guinea Hemstock is similar to Lachesis, where she's the one in charge of dispensing the thread and knowing what to do to help the protagonist in evading his fate. The supernatural element that connects the Ocean at the End of the Lane to Spirited Away is that their Shintoistic spirits are connected because they have rules and regulations similar to how there's a system in which the Hemstocks live by, where there's rules and boundaries where they cannot trespass no matter how powerful they are.